Right. Tonight, as I mentioned earlier, we will have our wonderful speaker, Crystal Mischief, with us today, and she will give us the talk around Frazzled to Fabulous, how nervous system regulation tools can take your workshops to the new heights. Um, Crystal Mischief has a lot of interesting things and did a lot of wonderful stuff. So she is a distinguished ICP BVA certified business analyst, and she also got a background in the neuroscience with some amazing life stories. So I'm really looking forward to hearing your insights and sharing tonight. How about you can introduce yourself a little bit, Crystal? I think you are the best person to do that. So over to you, Crystal.
Oh, kia ora. Thanks, Sophie. I appreciate that. And thank you for the invite to this evening. It was so excited to be here. Ko Crystal Mischief Takawingwa, no te awa kārangi aho, kei te mahi aho I te Sparkle Force, kupu aku kupu Māori, no reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. My name is Crystal Mischief. My pronouns are them and they, and I am coming to you this evening from the beautiful Wainuiomata Valley here in Wellington, New Zealand. My mum's family is from the South Island in Lower Mutare in Nelson, and my dad's family is from the mighty Taranaki in Hawara. So I am a BA. I've got about 15 years experience as a business analysis, as a senior business analyst, and working on higher value contracts, basically integrating a diverse set of skill sets into my work. And as part of this work, I've developed what I'm calling the Hamburger Method framework, which we'll get to. I'm going to walk you through this evening to give you some amazing skills that is going to help you move from your fight or flight, basically, into turning on those creative networks as well. So, yeah. And the benefits of the Hamburger Method basically is that because you're moving out of fight or flight and into your parasympathetic nervous system, going to boost your decision-making quality, boost your productivity, optimize your performance by systematically regulating your stress and cultivating your cognitive clarity. So brain fog has become quite a well-renowned term after COVID, which is fantastic. And this is one of these, a couple of these tools will be able to help with those sorts of things as well. So all of this helps provide a higher value stakeholder engagement. So that means that any workshops that you're facilitating gets you higher quality information, meaning your outputs are any of the artifacts that you create are of a higher quality as well. So as Sophie said, I'm an Agile certified business analyst, and I've got 20 plus years in event management and project management, and 15 years consulting and performing as well. I'm a multi-award-winning international burlesque performer and confidence coach as well. It blends really beautifully with my consulting too. And I decided that I needed a little bit of a practical lesson. So I've had 3 brain injuries and over a 2-year period where I lost my vision. I was legally blind for a year and a half. I lost my hearing and my speech and language. So a couple of years ago, even being able to present on camera wasn't even a possibility for me. So just shows you the extent of these tools as well. In terms of my qualifications, my undergrad is an arts degree in politics and criminology, and my postgrad is in neuroscience. I'm an NLP, a neuro-linguistic programming master practitioner, and I've studied with Tony Robbins and Kerwin Rae as well. And I'm a TEDx speaker, so definitely done a couple of things over the last few years or so. But today, what we're going to quickly dive into is 3 stress relief tools for high pressure situations and to help you take your facilitation skills to the next level as well. I'm going to all of this is going to enhance your adaptability, which is the step prior to your resilience as well. The resilience is your long-term outcome of adaptability. And this is going to be really helpful in a changing project landscape as well. So you'll be able to learn the tools so that you can integrate this seamlessly into your workflow, and you'll get an understanding of some of the neuroscience behind peak performance so that you can apply it to your work as well. So can we do a quick poll here? Can I bring everyone up on screen? There we go. Can I just ask how many people this evening came straight from work, straight into this meeting and have had back-to-back meetings today, and it's all been a bit of a rush? If you can pop your hand up or raise your hand on camera, that's fantastic. Yeah. Or even pop it in the chat. Let's have a look what's going on. Yep, I've got a few hands coming up here. Just come back from work. Yes. Yeah. So the really interesting, before I started this journey, what I found was that I didn't realize when I was stressed. And it's a really, with chronic stress in our lives, it's a really big thing that we don't actually understand. That we're stressed because we're so stressed constantly. So you'll hear in terms of what stress looks like, sounds like, and feels like. What it looks like in your calendar is back-to-back meetings, cramming in a lunch break in 15 minutes kind of thing between workshops. What it sounds like is that, oh, hang on, I just need to send this email. I just need to. There's always something to do on the to-do list. There's no gaps in the schedule to allow you to just be. And what it feels like, it feels very much like a contraction in terms of just being all tensed up and not having the ability to just relax. So what happens to physiologically when you're under stress, when you're in that fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, is that the front part of your brain actually, which is responsible for your decision quality, goes offline. It doesn't have the resources to be able to make decisions. And so your decision quality drops by 50%. So I don't know if you've heard the saying, oh, it seemed like a good idea at the time. That's what stress sounds like, because the ability to assess whether or not it's a good idea is significantly reduced. So it's really interesting to be able to pick up in the language people saying this. So at the moment, I just want to introduce you to your nervous system. You probably have never thought about this before, so it's a great time to be able to just literally even understand what it looks like. So I'm just going to share my screen here. Hopefully that's popped up. Has that popped up for everyone? Great, excellent. So this is your nervous system. They had some med students actually sit there and painstakingly separate the nervous system from the ligaments and tendons and fascia that are all throughout your body. So as you can see, it goes from your brain right down into your feet. So that's all of the nervous system is picking up sensory information, both externally and internally as well. Now the bigger graphic on the right hand side of the screen, where you can see the brain and the eyes and the central spinal column and things. The important thing to note about this is that your nervous system actually starts with your eyes. So there is brain cells in your eyes that are a direct input to your brain as well. So, and the reason why this becomes incredibly important is when you're in a state of overwhelm, you can you're in a state of overwhelm because literally your eyes are taking in 10 million bits per second of information. You're not even thinking about this. And so your eyes are then sending that information to your brain, which is then making meaning out of that information, sending it to the motor cortex if you need to step over something, or sending it to your nose if you need to smell something. So all of this is happening without you even thinking about it, which is a phenomenal process. So yeah, I love geeking out on this sort of stuff. So your nervous system has two tranches to it, basically. One's called your sympathetic nervous system, which you'll probably be quite familiar with. That's the fight or flight version, and you can go into fight, flight, freeze, which is literally a freeze, and a fawn. If you remember, there was a video circulating around on the internet where the little baby goats were that stressed that they would fall over and pretend to play dead. That's what fawn is, literally, that you pretend to play dead so that the threat leaves you alone. So those are the 4 different types. The other side of your nervous system is what we call the parasympathetic nervous system. This is what I dubbed as the healing mode, because this is where you go into rest and digest. So, and that rest and digest is not just sitting there watching Netflix. It's a restorative side of your nervous system as well. Now they're both it's not a right and a wrong. They both work in harmony when your body is in homeostasis. But our lifestyles and these wonderful things called screens puts our bodies into fight or flight consistently. So that's why we see the problems that we have on the internet where people are trolling. They've had too much screen time for the day, and they are literally in that fight, flight, freeze or fawn. And so they're in that fight mode, and they're just literally, and you can see it happening on the socials, that people can start egging each other on. So the reason why this is as important is because creativity. So when you're facilitating a workshop and needing to garner information from stakeholders, having the stakeholders out of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn and in their healing mode means that their creative neural networks are on. So the creative neural networks are an on-off switch. If you're in fight or flight, that switch is definitely off. If you're in healing mode, then that switch is on. So if you hear people talking about writer's block, or any creatives saying, oh, I just can't get this, whatever they're trying to create out. The reason why is that their body is in stress and they may not recognize it as well. So these tools are going to help you to be able to identify the language and identify when people are stressed. I've given you some clues there today around what sort of language you can hear people say when they're stressed. And no doubt you've probably got your own examples as well. So all of this is leading up to building your adaptability. Now, adaptability comes before resilience. Resilience is the output of adaptability under stress. And so adaptability is where you're able to switch tasks, you're able to switch thinking as well, and with new information coming in. So being able to be in a space where you can make those shifts easily is multi-modality tools that have been sequenced in a very specific order so that you can move your system out of fight or flight and into freeze and fall, out of fight or flight and into healing mode. And that basically is activating your natural radiance and giving you the ability to change directions quickly as well. So, alrighty. So before I crack on with the tools, are there any questions for that folks have come up that you need extra information around?
There's no question yet on the Slido, so
No
feel
questions?
free to add
Great.
your
Excellent.
questions.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I've got the chat open, so just drop the questions in there or in Slido, as Sophie was saying. So just give it another minute. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. Chris says if you're watching the recording later, Chris has just dropped the Slido link into the meeting chat as well. Okay. Alrighty. Well, let's give these. We'll do the 3 steps together, and then I'll provide a little bit more explanation. So the first step requires your eyes and hopefully cameras, if you are able to switch your camera on, just so that we can have got the visual feedback of where when this is working for you. And the first tool is called orientation. And it's literally getting you to understand where you are in the world, understand that you are currently safe, and that you are engaged in the present moment. And it comes from the somatic therapies, strain of knowledge as well. So if you can do this sitting down, standing up, doesn't matter. And if you need a window or a room or wherever you are at the moment, and basically you're just going to look to the furthest point. You're looking towards the horizon. Now, the reason why this is important is because that allows your main focal vision to just re-engage, reintegrate with your peripheral vision as well. So you just keep looking out to that horizon, wherever that is. If you don't have a horizon, you can close your eyes and just imagine it as well. Just go to your favorite place in your imagination. And this is the amazing thing about this, is that your body doesn't know the difference because of the sensory information that is layered up from your previous experiences of that favorite place. So listen to the sounds that you hear in that place. Smell the smells that you smell. Feel the physical sensations of what it's like underfoot, and whether or not the wind is blowing or the air conditioning is cooling you down or warming you up. And just enjoy those sensations. And as you enjoy those sensations, just look out to that horizon and notice what you notice. Notice the details that your main focal vision will give you. And as you're noticing those details, just notice what's happening to the outskirts. You might find as you do this, your vision is jumping to begin with. And then eventually it smooths down and basically your vision reintegrates and you can see the whole picture. Now, you know, when you've done this for long enough, there's no set time limit for this, and just enjoying the sensations. The key thing is that your body will tell you. You'll get the urge to want to wiggle or stretch and or yawn or even pass gas. That's all signs. Those are 4 signs that your parasympathetic nervous system is turning on. So you're wanting to just enjoy this exercise. And literally, you're just gazing out the window. And I know we've all been told off at high school for this, but this is the one thing we need to do more of because you're letting your main focal vision integrate with your peripheral vision. And that's where, because your peripheral vision is where your threat center lives. And so that's how you're getting your body out of that fight or flight. So this is always a good way to start a facilitation. So I usually slot it in after I've introduced myself and as a warm-up exercise as well. And then the next exercise I do after that is called heart coherence. This is backed by the Heart Math organization in America. They've got 25 years of peer-reviewed scientific research to show how this technique actually creates an alignment between the brain cells in your brain, the brain cells in your heart, and the brain cells in your gut as well. Yes, I did just say brain cells in your heart and gut. There is a reason why we have the language that says, it was a gut instinct, or I feel it in my heart. So our language is already pointing us towards the fact that we have those brain cells there. Now, those brain cells have a communication system back up to the main, back up to your brain. And they sometimes, you can imagine when you're in stress, the heart will get out of alignment with what's going on in the brain as well. So when you're in stress, you're usually up in the top part of your head. So this technique is all about pushing you back down into your body, where you've got an amazing amount of sensory information that your body is picking up without you even thinking about it. And so the technique is to just just close your eyes if you feel safe enough, and to imagine your heart. And each breath that you take in, you imagine your heart expanding. And each breath that you breathe out, you imagine your heart contracting. And because you don't need to think about your breathing, you just can sit there and watch your heart expand and contract. And expand and contract. And the more you do this, the stronger you're able to get into your heart and the quicker you are as well. Now, if you've noticed you probably didn't notice actually, but when I was chatting with Sophie and the team before, I will put my hand on my heart. And that's actually a hug for the person that I'm talking to. It's a hug for their brains. So if you feel that moment of gratitude at any time during the day, and you're using this tool, and you want to have the VIP of the tools, then just place your hand on your heart and think of something that you absolutely adore, something or someone that you absolutely adore, that you are so grateful for, and just literally beam think about them and just literally beam your love to them from your heart. And what this is doing is aligning your heart, the brain cells in your heart with the brain cells in your head as well. And I tend to think about, okay, so this is going to sound really bad. I tend to think about my dogs. Because there's that, they have waggly tails and they're so excited to see me. And yeah, sure, they get grumpy with me, but there's that enthusiasm when I come home, or when I say righto, apparently, is the word that gets them really excited. So we've learnt two techniques now. Orientation, so that's the looking out across as far as you can. If you do the orientation in nature, that has absolutely huge benefits as well, as you can well imagine. With the Earth's electromagnetic sphere. The heart coherence is fantastic for just giving you, first of all, you're closing off that visual input into the brain. You're letting your brain have a mini rest in terms of that as well. And then you're aligning your brain to your heart as well, which is fantastic. So already you should be feeling some physiological changes as well. So the third step in the Hamburger Method is about activating your vagus nerve. Now, the vagus nerve is not a party nerve. They call it the wandering nerve from neuroscience of old. And they call it the wandering nerve because it starts at C10 in your neck. So right at the base of your neck here, where your neck joins to your central spinal column. And that goes to every single organ in your body. So when I had the 3 brain injuries over 2 years, I had 2 whiplash injuries. And those whiplash injuries compromised that nerve right there, which meant it's affected my heart, it's affected my sleep, it's affected my digestion, it's affected my hearing, my all sorts, like literally every single thing in my body has been affected because of the damage to the nerve. But it just takes time, and I've still got some effects, but I'm just working on getting those, healing those. And one of the big things is we don't do it much, but it's really important to help stimulate that nerve as well. So things like gargling and physiological sighs, give that a bit of a massage and a little bit of a zhuzh. So that's a really cool thing. And now you can do the gargling with or without water. And all you're wanting to do is get the little dangly bit at the back of your throat. It's called your epiglottis. Just wanting to get that vibrating, basically. And so that looks or sounds of something like this, like, oh. You do have to have your mouth open for this. So you can do it with or without noise, with or without water. So the gargling it's a nice little massage for that nerve as well. And the reason why you can do two things, the gargling or the physiological sigh, is because if you've got a background that has significant trauma in it, or if you've got asthma or CPOD, then I leave the breathing until the next group of tools in the method, because we need to be able to prime the body first before we get there. So the physiological sigh, it's like pronouncing R in French. The physiological sigh is about taking in a breath. So just breathing in, and then we breathe in again. And then you just let it out. And the key thing with this is that taking the 2 breaths means that you're actually filling your lungs to capacity. And then that release allows everything to fold down and have a good clean out. So yeah, so the question is, does singing work too? It definitely does. So singing or humming as well. So yeah, it's fantastic. So if I can't gargle or do the sigh, then I'll hum, particularly if I do ice baths. And so I hum in the ice bath, which is a bit for newbies who are in the recovery centre with me. They're like, "What's she doing? What are they doing? What are they doing?" So the humming is all about stimulating that vagus nerve as well. So let's just do a couple of physiological sighs, and that way you can experience the whole method together. So if we breathe in and breathe in again and just let it all out. And the key thing is to let it out with an open mouth. So breathe in and breathe in and let that sigh out. So you're actually changing the gas, your CO2 and oxygen levels with this as well. So it's important not to do it to the point of dizziness. So we've got, because we don't want you passing out and hitting your head, just saying, just saying. So we've got 3 tools there. We've got the orientation, where you get to daydream out the window and enjoy the space that you're in. We've got that heart coherence, where you get to literally fill your heart with wonderful things. And we've got the gargling and physiological sigh. We've got another 2 sets of tools as well, and I'll let me just share with you the roadmap that gives you a little bit of idea around the. Oh no, hang on, I can't share yet. I haven't opened it up. Where is it? It gives you an idea as to what's happening with the tools in terms of the physiological impacts as well, which is kind of cool. All right, what's going on, Zoom? Meeting. There we go. I think this is what we want. So many choices, so many choices. So if we're reading this graphic from left to right, so we start out in that stress state as well, and the reason why it's red, and we move into those foundational tools that we've just done: the orientation, the heart coherence, the gargling or physiological sigh. And that foundation stage is all about resetting your nervous system to create that state of balance, the homeostasis. So it's essentially a control alt delete for your mind and your body, and so that you can, come back to your body and give it a bit of a spring clean out. The second set of tools, which is the breath work, the self-soothing touch and movement, is all about focusing on nourishing and energizing the mind-body systems. And these techniques help you build your adaptability muscle as well, which is that building blocks to resilience. So this is where integrating these sorts of things into your everyday routine is going to take you into those peak performance roles as well. And then those last tools, the final group of tools, is all about illuminating your inner radiance and projecting that into the world as well. So these techniques are all about helping to protect the new physiological state that you've created as well, which is kind of cool. And if I just switch into this graphic here. So the Hamburger Method in its fullness is the orientation, the heart coherence, the gargling and physiological sigh, which we've experienced today. Then the breath work, the self-soothing touch and the movement, and then the visualizations, affirmations, and I can't remember what the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And let me just zoom out a little bit. No, out. Technology, the joys of it, isn't it? There we go. Yeah, the visualizations and affirmations as well. So visualizations and affirmations are really powerful tools when they're linked to the sensory information. So that's the critical part of those ones. And so when people say visualization and affirmations don't work, I'm like, you just don't understand, yeah, the power of them as well. So yeah, and so if you're wanting to find out more about this, if you're wanting to go and experience the whole of the Hamburger Method as well, I've got a free course that I've just in the process of setting this up. You're more than welcome to join us there and join our community as well, just in the process of resetting that. And you can connect with us on Facebook, on YouTube, and Instagram as well. So it's yeah, that's where we are, and looking forward to getting this information out into the world. I've been teaching this for the last 10 years now, and yeah, I promised myself that I would put it into its own course. So that's what we're doing now. And I've been selected to teach this in America and this November. So super excited about that as well. Have we got any questions? What's coming up for folks? Oh,
Yeah, let me just quickly share my screen. Thank you so
sure.
much, Crystal, for these amazing techniques. I think everyone should try them at least once per day, especially looking outside of the window. It's definitely relieve your stress. And yeah, maybe walk in the gardens for 5 minutes or look up the sky in the clouds. Yeah, I think these
Absolutely.
techniques are really simple but very helpful.
Mm.
Yep.
The hardest thing is remembering to do them.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe everyone can have a calendar or alarm. So let's remind us to do it regularly, like every
Yeah.
an hour or 2 hours. I think that would be really beneficial.
So
Cool.
I had
Um,
my alarm set for every 3 hours when I was really sick with the brain injuries as well. So
mm, amazing.
fantastic questions.
Yep.
So
So let me just quickly read it out. And first question is, how can we apply these techniques in our workplace meetings? Shall we encourage our stakeholders trying to
mm,
try some of these techniques? Or what is your suggestion, Crystal?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So definitely definitely do them at work, do them yourself, but also taking them into your facilitations as well, into your workshops. I'm just finishing a contract at the Ministry of Education, and I've been working on the attendance stuff. And basically, these were the first things when I was out doing the provider hui. These were the things I needed to do because we had all of our providers had been in this absolute hell where they couldn't use the system that we had contractually made them use. And yeah, so they were in a world of pain. And I was like, "Hi, I'm Crystal. I'm here to ask you how to think about this new system that we're building for you." There was no way that they were gonna give me that information when they were in a world of pain. So I used the orientation and the heart coherence to get people to move from that stress state into the those creative spaces as well, so that they could collaborate with us and give us information that we needed to help build the new system as well. So as I alluded to earlier about, usually I do this after everyone's introduced themselves, and yeah, and get people as sort of an icebreaker more than anything else, so they're physiologically ready for the meeting.
Mhm.
So definitely
Cool.
encourage your stakeholders to try the techniques as well. It's something, yeah, I definitely encourage. So they're super simple. and it's just the hardest thing is remembering to do them.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. I think this question, the next one underneath is, what is your go-to warming up? This one is pretty similar to this one question you've just
Yeah.
answered. Is there anything you would love to add to the other one? What other some of the other ice-breaking activities that you might recommend?
Um, yeah, it's definitely a Kiwi thing, but it's very important. The more I delve into the neuroscience, the more I understand tikanga. Uh, Neuroscience is just beginning to be able to explain tikanga now. So definitely go, if you're not familiar with protocols, Māori protocols, definitely look into that and find out about introductions and pohiri and all of
Mhm.
those sorts of things. So yeah, it's a
Mm,
great guide. It's a fantastic guideline. So
yeah. So I
mm,
think it's probably one of the benefits of having the karakia, because when people
absolutely.
kind of make their voice and
Yep.
yeah, do some stuff together, I think that creates this vibe and environment that relax
Yes.
people, right? So this might
Yes.
be something quite relevant, I
Absolutely.
feel.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, yeah, don't skip karakias. They are an incredibly important way for helping everyone's nervous system or regulate, and then for the group to move together as well. So, yeah, it just I'm such a raving fan of tikanga. It's so critically
Mhm.
important as well. I see a question
That's
there
awesome.
about why is the framework called the
Yeah.
Hamburger Method?
I'm also curious too about this.
I know. That's the fun one, right? So because it's all to do with how, when you build a hamburger, you literally have to make sure that you've got your bun or your piece of lettuce. You've got to have something to hold things in, and then you literally layer it up from there. The hamburger
Mhm,
method is the specific sequencing that happens, and all of these different tools. I didn't invent any of these tools at all. The thing that is different is that I'm putting the orientation before any of these other tools. And most of the methods in the mindfulness and the psychology spaces and are they just get people to go, they come in hot to the breathing. And that actually, when you try and ask an asthmatic to breathe, like we know how to breathe, but it's just that we're physically not able. The physiology doesn't let us, and that's not recognized by a lot of people. So the hamburger method is all about creating those, accessing the different parts of the nervous system to enable the parasympathetic nervous system to turn on. So it's literally, yeah,
mm.
got all of those different yummy layers as well.
Yeah, cool. I really
Yeah,
like this analogy of making a hamburger, because you can add, it's pretty much like you can be selective of using what layers or what sauce you would love to just
absolutely.
become suitable for the situation that you are in, right? So this
Yeah,
doesn't need to be prescriptive of following all the 9 or 8 steps
bingo.
in the
I mean,
sequence.
some days you're going to have tomato sauce, and then other days you're going to need mayo, right? I mean, yeah, yeah, you need this variety in there as well. So, and hamburgers are really easy to remember because you've got that sensory information.
Yeah,
So,
lovely. That's amazing.
um,
Thank you.
yeah,
And
what's
the next question is, what is your biggest change after going through these three brain injuries? Like, um,
yeah.
maybe your
Mm,
physical or mental, like, how did you see things differently? Yeah, just my understanding
yeah,
of this question.
it's really that's a how do you condense 4 years of trauma into into one answer? No,
Yeah.
it's I am actually, so the short answer is I'm a nicer person now, believe it or not. Um, I'm a nicer person to myself. I have a lot more compassion and grace with myself, which has
Mhm.
then meant that I have a lot more compassion and grace with others as well. And I see people's nervous systems as opposed to the smile that they slap on their face and say, oh yeah, I'm fine. Because there's moments where we're not fine. We're constantly going through changes every single moment of the day. And yeah, so you don't really know. The subtle signs are there for what folks are
Mm.
going through because you can feel it in your own body and through the wonders of mirror neurons. But yeah, it's a lot more compassion, and grace. So, uh,
Yep.
and I didn't realize how it's given me. I went from this really, really full life of touring to the US twice a year and shows and teaching and consulting, and to basically not being able to leave my house. So it was a big sensory change.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it takes time and a lot of patience to get back to the normal life after those traumatic experience. So definitely teach us a lot of things. Let's slow down the pace of the life and then
Yeah.
be grateful for a lot of things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah. And actually my gratitude practice has
Mm,
definitely increased. So I'm I'm a lot more grateful for the things I do have. So yeah.
that's amazing.
Mm.
Cool. Next question is about how about reading? Does it soothe the brain nerves?
How about reading? I'm not sure I understand the question. So reading, if you've so from a brain injury point of view, one of the things that can happen is, and this happened with me, and oh my gosh, I wish I'd actually recorded it because I had this thing called what they call nystagmus, which is where you lose the ability to read across the page. Literally, your eyes jump. You've got zero control over it at all, and
Mm,
it just happens. It's part of your autonomic nervous system. And so I'll be looking at the screen here and you would see my eyes jumping, like literally, I can't make them do it. It just like it would happen. And yeah, it was really interesting. That's where when you're being assessed for a brain injury, they usually stick your finger in front of your face and ask you to follow the finger, and that's where the jumping shows up. So that's what the nystagmus is, and that's it shows that your vision system's been compromised in your brain. So so reading means following words in a smooth manner. So if you've got a brain injury, reading can be one of the hardest things you actually do. And for a long time, until I got my rock star glasses, I've actually got tinted glasses that I use when I'm really tired. Now, I used to have to use them all the time, but yeah, so I'm just literally getting back to reading, and I find it really soothing. But that's because I've had to do a lot of neuro visual rehab. So
mm.
yeah, but
Yeah, it's the
and
first time I know that.
yeah,
I see your
absolutely.
eyeballs jumping.
Yeah, it's a weird sensation. It's a weird sensation. But
Mm,
in terms of reading, just thinking this through, that this is where I think you're asking from. It's not screen based. So if you're reading an actual book, then
mm.
you're away from the screen. So that has huge benefits in terms of not getting you out of fight or flight and freeze and fawn. So yeah, so definitely non-screen based reading is highly encouraged.
Yeah, it's remind me to pick up my book and resume reading
Yeah,
rather than swiping
absolutely.
my screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great
Well,
suggestion.
mm,
Cool. And then I think that's the last question. Oh no, is there two more questions? What
sure.
are the best times to apply these techniques in a day or night? Do you have any
All of them.
recommendations?
All of them. So
Anytime.
anytime's a good time. When I'm teaching this to students, I remind the way I get them to incorporate it into their life is to graft it onto something they already do. So going to the toilet. I get them to do the whole gargling and all of those sorts of bits and pieces, the heart coherence in the toilet as well, because you kind of don't forget to go to the toilet. There's going to be several times in the day. So that's when you're trying to learn something new. If you graft it onto
Mhm.
something new, an existing habit you already have, then you
Mhm.
can, yeah, you can definitely make it a lot easier. And just more frequently I do it, the more creativity I have as well. So I've had a day today creating some new collateral and things like that. So I have definitely done it a number of times today as well, which is kind of cool. So
Nice.
and here's the thing, if you're wanting the rest and digest system to turn on, so really, really helpful to do this at night as well, to in terms of prepping to get yourself ready for bed.
Yep. Cool. I will try some
Yeah.
more garglings tomorrow and see, and try it for a few days to see what is the effect it will be.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Humming's great for it as well, as
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
said in
yeah,
the
yeah.
questions. Oh,
Perfect. Okay, come to our last question. I'm a big fan of your work in burlesque. How does dancing help you with stress and confidence? If I would love to learn, any requirements or maybe prerequisites? Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. So dancing in particular, burlesque is phenomenal. If you check out my TED Talk, I talk a lot more about that as well. So it's all about, again, it's activating different parts of that nervous system, and it's actually helps because of that's why we have part of it in the Hamburger Method is the movement, and that's all about the more that you move, the more that lymph pumps around your system. So I don't know if you've heard the saying that the sitting is the new smoking. Well, because when we sit, our blood is pumping around our system, but we have a system that runs alongside that called the lymph system. You may know of it through lymph nodes in your arms and your groin, and that's the lymph's job is the vacuum cleaner of the body. It's there to go and clean out all of the toxins, all of the waste, and all of that sort of stuff, and to actually get rid of the defective cells that start cancer. So the more we can the more we can walk, the more we can roll, the more we can move, is definitely helps activate that system, because it's your diaphragm that pushes the lymph around the system as well. So any kind of movement is going to help with stress and confidence. And yeah, if you'd like to learn, I don't have any requirements for when I teach burlesque. Um, I have classes for absolute beginners who have never danced before in their life, right through to advanced classes as well. So the requirement is just to be bold, really, and just enjoy yourself is the biggest thing. So if you pop onto my website, then I'll pop some links in the chat, and yeah, that will take you to my website, which gives you the ability to, um, yeah, to see what I have on offer as well. And all right, hang on. Let's just fighting with technology again. There we go. Pop some links in the chat. So these are the my link my LinkedIn's there. So find me on LinkedIn if you haven't already found me, and send me a friend request. Um, so that's always great to see all the connectors in the group sending friend requests. So I've appreciated those. So thank you. Uh, I know Chris has dropped my TEDx link into the chat earlier as well. Now, if you want to experience the full amount of the Hamburger Method, I've got a Facebook course that I've just nearly finished building out as well. So just done a soft launch of that this week. So you're more than welcome to join us there. And my website is there as well. I'm just in the process of upgrading my website to reflect the neuroscience of burlesque as well. Now, if you don't know burlesque and you've never heard of it before, it's a very, very old dance form. Yeah, it also goes by the name of exotic dancing, and yeah, so and stripping as well. So they're all interrelated. And basically, it's the I call it the historic art of tease. So has been around long before computers and long before TVs and things like that, when you used to have to go to the movies to actually get your daily news or your weekly news kind of things. So yeah. I've also dropped in
Wonderful.
the chat the handouts from there's some handouts from today as well. So that just sort of takes you through all of the stuff that I've shown on screen. So yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Crystal. And anyone who live in Wellington, I think you have the luck to join Crystal's class, because she just they just bring back the burlesque class, dancing class
Yeah.
recently back to
Yeah.
life. So yeah, feel free to reach out and get in touch if you want to try out to learn something about burlesque. I think it will be fun.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're
Amazing.
starting up classes here back in Wellington as well, and we'll move on to being online as well. So looking forward to that. So thanks so much, Sophie, and the team here that's been today facilitating. So with the chat and stuff, Chris and the team. So grateful for you all.
Thank you so much, Crystal. I think you give us some wonderful techniques and remind us how important it is to look after yourself and reduce your own stress and manage that to take care of your well-being. So if you missed some part of this session, we will have the recordings uploaded to YouTube channel. So I will share the link via the Meetup platform so that you can watch it later. And I would love to quickly announce our next event, which is happening on Wednesday, 11th of September. And we will have our returning guest speaker, Hannah, to talk about the different BA modes and how you can use them to identify the perfect BA roles for yourself. So that will be an interesting talk. Hope to see you guys there. And again, thank you so much, Crystal and Chris, for tonight. Hopefully to see you soon next time. Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thanks, folks.